Volkswagen China Chief Marketing Officer and Head of Product Strategy, Yoshan Sengpil. I'll just say Sengpil. Was deported from the country after testing positive for cannabis. Sengpil was detained and subjected to drug testing upon his return to Beijing from a 2-week vacation in Thailand. He was then held in prison for 10 days before being released through intervention by the German embassy and immediately deported. Although cannabis is legal in Germany and decriminalized in Thailand, Sengpil's detention and subsequent deportation were ordered directly by President Xi Jinping, who announced the executive would also be permanently banned from China. Overreact much. Sengpil is best known in the car industry for sparking Volkswagen's global resurgence under his highly successful Das Auto marketing campaign. He had also become a key figure in VW's efforts to navigate the highly competitive Chinese car market, especially amid rising EV competition from local automakers like BYD. Volkswagen Group, in addition to BMW, Mercedes, and GM, all leading EV production players in every other major market outside of China, have struggled to keep up with the technological advances achieved at much lower price points by locally built Chinese vehicles. In this incident, deals a significant blow to both Sengpil's career and VW's strategy in China. Volkswagen, on its part, declined to comment on the situation, citing privacy concerns, but I think it's safe to say that a Chinese exit for VW would send the former leader in global car production and sales into a tailspin, as China is currently the largest car market and exporter and has been the world's largest producer of automobiles since 2008. China is also the current world leader, the largest market in terms of sales and ownership. And in 2022, China sold over 23.6 million passenger cars, more than double the sales of Japan and India, the second and third largest markets. So say what you want about electric vehicles here in America, but everywhere else in the world, EVs are dominating by far. It's not just the future, it is the present everywhere else. Performing well in today's global EV market is the only way any car company is going to compete with China past 2030. Put that in your pipe and smoke.
I don't know about that.
Legally smoking weed in Thailand, just a return to be targeted by Chinese officials for a quote unquote random drug test, may have sunk one of the most successful automotive executives' careers and planted the seeds for one of the most storied automotive brands' demise in the near future. China is not to be fucked with, y'all. I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High 9 News. That's all I got.
I don't know. I think this is great. I think there's a huge spin here. I think they should start making hemp cars, and they should really like double down on it, and then it'll.
And what's the runway looking like until you get an actual product to market in hemp cars?
Already doing it. Porsche's making the interiors now, not out of carbon fiber, but out of hemp fiber. Did you know that?
They are components for the interior.
It doesn't matter.
Are you talking about drivetrain?
Spin cars made of hemp, so it's not like a new
EV car compared to a hemp car. You're talking about a drivetrain. They can get to market.
It's made of metal, and the body is made of hemp.
I just think, when we think about manufacturing prowess and where the most, the best made manufactured products come from, made in China doesn't always say that. But here we are with an example of a superior product because China has just manufactured the best prohibition, discrimination, and condemnation based on cannabis use. And so kudos to China for bringing prohibition back in a way that very few countries can. They have just leapfrogged to the top of the pile. And instead of Russia holding Brittany for a vape cartridge, China is scuttling an international automotive conglomerate over a THC test. I mean, who would have thunk that they could have done it so well as this?
Don't piss dirty in China.
They're like, fuck tariffs. They're like, fuck tariffs. Yeah, we ain't even dealing with tariffs. Your auto execs, they're not even allowed back in our country, ever. How about that?
Sounds like it's going exactly how we thought it was going to go. It's going to get real cagey and catty out there, and China is definitely gonna eat up a lot of the manufacturing in the world. But like this is like he pulled the car. He's like, you don't, you're our competitor and you're in our country and we're gonna, put the screws to you. He basically did like a Brittany Griner thing to that guy. So, it's not as bad. And I don't know if I'd rather be in a Russian gulag or a Chinese gulag, but I don't know.
I bet they're both pretty bad.
Well, shout out to Joe Mackey with a big old super chat who says, "You ever seen Dumb and Dumber?"
No, listen, you would rather be in a Chinese gulag because the food is way better.
I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, but half hour later, you're hungry again.
I'm willing to bet that this has. I'm willing to bet that this has some political this is just political ramifications from Trump.
Oh yeah.
From Trump announcing that the tariffs that he's going to impose on Chinese-made automotives, because they were building a whole big ass factory out there. It was going to be one of the biggest factories in all of China to produce cars. And once he announced those tariffs, they stopped all construction on it.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, proof.
They don't want to harm the American consumer with those tariffs.
What are you talking about, Jason? What are you talking about?
You heard exactly what I said, bro.
No, give me some specifics.
There was a factory in China
they're
that they were building to make
They're going to build a
cars.
big ass plant out there, and then they shut it down. Like, what are the specifics on that?
Yeah, because
Trump might win the election.
Trump is going to win the election.
Right? Give me some specifics, man.
That was very specific, bro.
Dude, he saw it on TikTok.
I don't watch TikTok. I don't use TikTok at all. That's cute, Todd.
It was almost as specific as Saman literally having to break down the entire composition of a Porsche so that we understood that he knew what he was fucking talking about. Why you got to push everybody this morning? My head hurts too much for this.
Oh,
because he said you can't replace EVs with hemp cars. There's literally no market for that right now. And then number two, we're talking about drivetrain. EV, you're talking about the drivetrain. There is no hemp drivetrain. Like Porsche's putting components of hemp in their cars, and then other automakers are putting components of hemp in their cars. That's the difference.
Read the manual on how a car works, bro, and how an EV car works, bro. There is no engine in that thing. You understand that, right? There's a battery, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And they have the most simple way to turn the wheels in those cars. It's super.
Yeah, it's like a little red wagon, right, Saman?
It's a little red wagon, baby. That's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. It's simple, but I said it as like, look, if power is going to play power, then they're going to have to do something that's going to be like another big fuck you to the monolith that China is. So I don't know. Do I care? No, no.
Saman, your right eye is not fully open.
That's the hash again.
You can get a hemp car, and there's a guy Bruce Michael Deaton down in Key West who builds hemp cars. It's from the Henry Ford blueprint.
Well, what other materials are using that? Because Ingrid Faye in the chat, she says hemp can be a small part of the car, but not 100% of it.
I would love for that to be a reality. As much as I would love for it to be a reality, you create your own reality. There's no hemp drivetrain, right? It's not going to push the vehicle forward, right? So we have internal combustible engines, and we have the electric vehicles are taking the world by storm thanks to Elon Musk.
Maybe it comes with enough THCA. Maybe it comes with enough THCA when you buy a hemp car, Rico, that you feel like you're flying.
Yeah, it's
instead of a V8 engine, you got a D8 engine.
Yeah, like exactly.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they make just the body out of the hemp.
No, I think it's a win. I think there's a big win for Elon Musk though, because he is the only a non-Chinese automaker out there that's actually competing. They're number 2, right behind BYD. And like nobody else is on it. GM's number 10, Volkswagen's number 9 right now. They're about to be.
Electric's a terrible idea to keep proliferating. I think it's the worst.
Yeah, we live in a state with rolling power outages.
Exactly.
Battery powered car.
It's the worst idea.
So stupid.
Then if it goes into a river or a lake, and then there's sharks there, it creates all that electricity in the car. So I don't know whether if I would be better to jump in the water and deal with the shark or stay on the car and be electrocuted.
Especially
if you're driving with the Fonz, he's gonna jump the shark anyway, so he'd be all right.
Especially when all the global warming people all think that California's gonna get swallowed up by the ocean pretty soon.
Also,
that's definitely going to happen.
And all of our electric cars, we're going to, like, you may never be able to go in the water again. There'll be so much electricity in there.
Right. There'll be so much electricity from the stored batteries.
Yeah, it's like
so
man. Jason, when you have a bad day and you say you're going to go to sea, then that would be an actual threat because it's electrified.
Who remembers last year where they had all those dead Teslas because it was too cold? That's ridiculous. Right.
Yeah, cold cranking amps is a real thing, and the fact that nobody thought about that. Like, we lived in Colorado long enough to understand what it'll do to a battery.
I mean, look, it's the guy sends stuff into space. I mean, they should understand, like, extreme temperature change.
And he catches it when it comes back from space.
Yeah, he's a pitcher and a catcher.
Oh,
that's the problem. I mean, the oldest Ford truck, even though Fords aren't like the best cars or the best made cars, maybe they still work when it's -9 degrees. But a Tesla that's made like yesterday or 10 days ago, it will not work if the
those Chinese, their infrastructure is crazy over there, and they have swappable batteries, so you can actually go in and swap the battery out and get a brand new one. You don't have to worry about any of that shit. We need to update our infrastructure. We just don't compete on a global level at all. So maybe it is better we get into our protectionism and xenophobia and just do everything over here, because we're not going to be able to catch up.
Well, Chris Brady in the chat says y'all need to be grounded, and on that we're going to go to a commercial and we're going to be right back.
Ooh, electricity joke.